Hello, everybody. My name is Antonio Lee. I'm the CEO, Managing Director of MEDIPOST America. We commercialize late-stage allogeneic cell therapy assets derived from allogeneic cord blood as a starting material. Firstly, I'd like to begin by thanking the organizers for this opportunity. So we are wholly owned U.S. subsidiary of a company called MEDIPOST, which is founded in 2000 in Korea, currently listed on KOSDAQ with market cap of US $370 million. 250 employees based in Korea, operating cord blood bank as well as a research and development center for cell therapy product development using cord blood as a starting material. We also operate GMP facility of some 3,000 square meters of floor space where we manufacture cord blood derived MSC products for both commercial in Korea as well as clinical trials both in Korea as well as in Japan. So MEDIPOST America is known research development only company with full commercial rights of MEDIPOST pipeline of cell therapy products. A major geographies of focus is US as well as Europe. Here is a product pipeline by MEDIPOST. Flagship product is called Cartistem, which are the MSCs targeted for late stage knee osteoarthritis patients, and this is surgically administered. This product is approved in Korea 2012. Currently, we are selling about 4,500 doses every year. This asset is ready for phase 3 trial, which we plan to begin end of next year, 2021. In Japan, we look to begin phase 3 trial later this year, end of 2020. Second generation product called SMUPIA or SMUPIA01 is the next generation platform applied MSC preparation and as an intraarticular injection to patients who suffer from early stage knee osteoarthritis. And it's just completed phase 1 trial in Korea and ready to move into phase 2 next year. We're also widening the indication of Cartistem that is approved for knee osteoarthritis into patients with ankle osteoarthritis by conducting phase 3 trial in Korea. And we look to finish this trial in 2021 and read out to be coming towards the end of that year, next year. Next product is Pneumostem. These are MSCs prepared and administered through intraarticular delivery to babies who are prematurely born and are prone and high risk of developing BPD or bronchopulmonary dysplasia. Phase 1 finished in Korea. Phase 2 is currently ongoing. In the US, phase 1/2 trial has been completed, now ready to move into phase 2 with orphan drug and fast track designation. Last product in the pipeline is called Neurostem. These are MSCs delivered to cerebrospinal fluid of patients who suffer from Alzheimer's disease. Recently, we finished phase 2A trial in Korea, as well as an IND cleared for US FDA as well. So the Cartistem product is our flagship product targeting patients with moderate to severe or late stage knee osteoarthritis, as well as our second product in the pipeline, which targets the early stage or mild to moderate stage of knee osteoarthritis called SMUPIA01. Here are some treatment options for patients suffering with symptomatic knee OA, graded through 1 to 4, what the grade called KNL grade or Calvert-Lawrence grade. And during the various phases of these disease progression, patients can opt for certain levels of activities such as lifestyle and alterations, anti-inflammatory drugs. But as the symptoms get more severe, patients would consider doing intraarticular injections of HA or PRP, or some severe, under some severe circumstances, some surgical interventions such as microfracture. But these are limited for patients of relatively younger age, as well as mild to moderate symptoms, which should generally be defined as KNL grade 2 or 3. So the treatment gap exists around about late clinical KNL grade 2 or KNL grade 4 even before the patients would actually consider doing TKA or total knee arthroplasty. This is where Cartistem can really fill that gap by providing solution for these patients, whereas SMUPIA01 is targeting for much early stage of patients by simple intraarticular injection, by so delaying the patients to go into the disease progression or severity, looking into a surgical intervention phase of the disease. So Cartistem is an allogeneic cord blood derived MSC product, and the label is treatment of repetitive and or traumatic cartilage degeneration, including degenerative osteoarthritis, and importantly, without patient's age limit. And it is made up of two components here. The first active substance is the human umbilical cord blood-derived MSCs, allogenic, 7.5 million cells in one dose, which is stable between 4 to 20 degrees Celsius and must be used within 48 hours as the product contains live cells. Second component, which is shown in the second vial, is the sodium hyaluronate or hyaluronic acid, freeze-dried as an excipient. 60 milligrams of it is mixed together into composite before it gets applied to the patients. The surgical administration procedure, either through open surgery or arthrotomy, is shown here in this cartoon, or it can also be delivered through arthroscopic surgery. So surgical preparation includes exposure of the cartilage defect or bare bone and cleaning up that area, followed by surgical drilling through bone marrow to deliberately cause marrow bleeding, which will contain patient's own endogenous cells that will come out from the marrow and then subsequently turn into chondrocytes and osteocytes to regenerate bone and cartilage that are signaled by our cells to be implanted, shown here. The UCB umbilical cord blood MSCs mixed with HA into a composite will be filled into syringe, and that HA composite mixed together with MSCs will be filled into those holes and then dispersed on top of the cartilage defect area without any external glue or membrane. The cells will be held in place by the HA composite and the wound is closed. Basically, we have done a series of animal publications in combination with various models in partnership with Samsung Medical Center. And through this, we've shown the mechanism of action of these cells is to really stimulate endogenous progenitors to cause regeneration of endogenous cartilage. And then phase 1-2 study and then phase 3 study, both of which were conducted in Korea with 7 and 5 year follow-up respectively, have been published. And recently we have had a number of case studies that are coming out from Korean market as publications shown in this slide here. As I mentioned to you, market approved the label for this product is treating patients with cartilage degeneration, including degenerative osteoarthritis, without patient's age limit. And importantly, in the US, we've also cleared IND and completed phase 1-2 study with 2-year follow-up with US patients. Here are some data from our phase 3 study conducted in Korea. The phase 3 study in Korea used microfracture as control treatment, and then the Cartistem treated patients outcome is shown here in the bottom half of the screen here. At 1 year time point, you can see the regeneration of cartilage taking place in Cartistem's case, whereas the microfracture control group patients show incomplete regeneration of cartilage. Here on the MRI image showing 7-year follow-up data from phase 1/2 trial conducted in Korea and showing a sustained morphology of the hyaline-like cartilage as shown in this MRI image here after single intervention of Cartistem. Importantly, we've followed up these phase 3 patients up to 5 years, looking at patient outcome in terms of pain and function. As you can see in both of these graphs that following the blue line where the pain and function score improves at 1 year time point and is sustained to improve or maintain that improved state up to 5 years in both scales as shown in these two graphs here. So in terms of sales in Korea, we're growing at about 51% annually. And currently, as of 2019, approximately 4,500 units are being sold every year. And in terms of number of hospitals and clinics where Cartistem is available, has reached to some 550 hospitals, growing at about 40% every year since 2012. So as mentioned to you, we've got 500 plus clinics and hospitals available in Korea with Cartistem now. Accumulated number of commercial releases are over 17,000. with patients who receive this treatment commercially, accumulated number is reaching over 15,000, as some patients would have received more than one dose of the product. Therefore, the number of commercially released doses are higher than the number of patients who received the treatment. 600 plus patient post-market surveillance study has been completed with no safety concerns. As I mentioned to you, phase 1, 2, and phase 3 trial in Korea has been completed. Phase 1, 2 study in the US has been completed with no safety concerns, and is ready for phase 3 in both US and Japan in the next couple of years. So the target profile summary here on the right-hand side showing Cartistem really targets moderate to severe late-stage knee OA patients through surgical administration, but achieving not only pain alleviation through long-term, but really from benefiting from the regeneration of endogenous cartilage by surgical implantation of our cells, really stimulating endogenous cell response. And as a result, that Cartistem can delay or even eliminate the need for total knee arthroplasty for these patients suffering from the late-stage symptomatic OA of the knee, and is approved in Korea and phase 3 ready both in Japan and China, in the US. And the SMOP IA01 is targeting much early stage, mild to moderate stage of knee OA patients, and as a simple intraarticular injection, alleviating pain. But also in our various animal models, we show the slowing down of cartilage degeneration process, and we expect to see this clinical impact through our clinical trials to be conducted. And as a result, we expect the patients to have a delaying impact on a time point of seeking surgical intervention, and it is ready for phase 2 study in Korea, which will begin in 2021. So both of these products will be disease-modifying osteoarthritis drug candidates, as Cartistem has already shown and proven in the market that it is structurally disease-modifying and change the course of the knee OA disease. So Pneumostem is for the prevention of bronchopulmonary dysplasia, which is a developmental disorder, and it occurs in prematurely born infants with, it causes ventilator support for these babies going to ventilator support. It occurs in about 1% of natural birth babies who will be defined as high-risk group of developing BPD, and these numbers shown here on the screen in each country. And for these babies, there's no treatment option available, only ventilator support is the option. And short term, they have very high mortality, up to 30%, and also is typically required to stay in the neonatal ICU for up to 120 days. And long-term consequences involve both growth retardation as well as physical problems, including pulmonary arterial hypertension and other complications. So we've developed this in partnership with Samsung Medical Center, and early years of development phase, we've conducted a series of animal studies, which has shown very nicely the mechanism of action. And the cells are delivered through intratracheal intubation. The tube, these babies already have these intubation tube inserted as a standard care. And the MSC's cell number will be adjusted according to the body weight of the babies at the time of dosing. First in human phase 1 study with 5-year follow-up has been completed, and in Korea, phase 2 randomized double-blind placebo-controlled studies is currently ongoing. And in phase 1/2 study in the US has been completed with orphan drug and fast track designation by the FDA. And here's some summary slide data that I would like to show you from our US study. It's been conducted in Chicago for 12 babies who are born at high risk of developing BPD. And here on the left-hand side, I show a number of 12 babies have been screened and recruited and received our cells against 13 babies who were eligible but did not participate and only received standard care. And we could have analyzed their data. And the blue line here shows eligible but non-participants, a number of days those babies had to stay in under ICU with ventilator support, receiving only standard care, against the green line, the 12 babies, number of days that they could come off the positive pressure ventilators, which is somewhat reduced here, 30 days or so, and this was statistically significant. So we show that the cells received Pneumostem cells have substantially reduced number of days that they need to stay on positive ventilators. So the commercial stage asset as a summary which is Cartistem. I've shown you the mid to late stage OA patient target through surgical administration. We've treated over 15,000 patients on market, and this asset is phase 3 ready, both in Japan and the US. Phase 2 program of next generation product called SMOP IA01 targets an early stage OA patients through intraarticular injection. Also, the rights available for global markets. The Pneumostem asset targeting BPD by intratracheal administration for prematurely born infants is at phase 2 stage with orphan drug designation and fast track designation in the US. So this asset is also available for global markets, including US and Europe. Here's my contact details. I'll be happy to receive emails if you have any questions or inquiries. Thank you.